It is a dangerous thing to fight against a child of God. Yet many people walk around with smiling faces while hiding dark plans in their hearts. Some of your enemies sit near you every single day pretending to celebrate you, but secretly they are burying sand under trees, at rivers, and at crossroads while calling your name into it to trap your life. It is not the time to cry anymore or keep asking why you keep losing jobs, why your relationships fail, or why you face strange illnesses no doctor can explain. This is not just bad luck. This is spiritual warfare. There are people who do not want to see you rise, and they have taken your name to witches, shrines, sand altars, and demonic meetings. But you do not have to continue suffering in silence. For too long you have carried pain, shame, betrayal, delay, and poverty while trying to appear strong. Deep down you know you feel buried. They buried your name in the ground so you would never rise. But now it is time to reverse it and send it back. If they use sand to tie you down, you will use sand to break free and send their curse back to its source. This is not revenge, it is divine justice. If you do this correctly for 3 days, everything they sent will return multiplied. Your enemies will either confess, be exposed, or fall by the same altars they raised against you. This truth is what they fear you knowing, because once you know it, the battle is already over. Have you ever wondered why some battles never seem to end even after much prayer? Could it be that someone buried you spiritually and your soul has been crying out for release without you realizing it? You are about to discover a spiritual key that has been in plain sight all along. The sand beneath your feet, often ignored, is a weapon for your deliverance, your breakthrough, and your judgment against evil. This is your season to rise from the dust and shake off every curse that has been placed upon you, because once you understand the power hidden in sand, you will never again be a victim. Let me show you what to do with sand that can make your enemies confess or be destroyed by their own hands. There is a mystery about sand that many believers have overlooked. In the spirit world, it is one of the strongest elements used both for defense and for destruction. Witches, sorcerers, and spiritual workers know that sand carries the essence of man, his steps, his presence, and his movement. For man was created out of the dust of the earth. They use sand to tie destinies, to delay progress, and to bury the voices of their victims. Whenever someone takes sand from your footprint, your house, or even your clothes and buries it while calling your name, they are not just performing an ordinary act. They are building a spiritual prison using the very earth to trap your destiny. What they don't want you to discover is that this same sand can be used to reverse their evil works. Just as it carries the signs of bondage, it can also carry declarations of freedom, release, and vengeance when spoken over by someone under divine authority. There is a reason Jesus once wrote on the sand and why prophets touched the ground when praying. It was not only symbolic, it was spiritual knowledge linked to creation itself. Sand responds to words, to breath, and to intention. When you pick up sand and speak into it with faith, you activate a judgment system already written into the earth by God. What witches attempt in darkness, you can undo in the light. What they buried can be dug out. What they sealed can be broken. You must understand that the sand they use to tie you is not stronger than the power of God working through your voice. This is why many people suddenly feel dizzy, weak, or sick when stepping unknowingly on sand that has been cursed. The energy of bondage stays in the soil until someone rises with divine authority to break it. That is why this ritual is not for drama but for dominion. You are not begging the sand to work. You are commanding it to agree with divine justice and reject the evil spoken into it. If you dream of being buried, walking through dust, losing shoes in mud, or being pulled under the ground, these are signs that your destiny has been trapped, but you can take it back. The moment you collect a small amount of clean sand with the decision to break free, you have already begun a battle. Every grain of sand on earth can be a witness, a record, or a weapon, depending on how it is used. And when you follow divine instruction, it becomes a wave of judgment that no altar or spell can stand against. Many people are still bound, were used to hold them down. Yet creation itself is waiting for your command. When you speak to sand, you are not just talking to dust. You are talking to the very building blocks of life, and it will obey. If your enemies dared to bury your name using sand, you must dare to speak over sand with faith and send it back. Because when sand carries God's voice through you, it will rise against the wicked, scatter their plans, and turn their traps into graves for themselves. When you speak to sand with knowledge and divine backing, your voice becomes judgment, your words become fire, and your enemies will confess without even knowing why. This is how strong this practice is, but you must follow it carefully for 3 days. Do it not with fear, but with boldness, because when you use sand under divine order, even hell will shake. Begin the ritual when your spirit feels most stirred, when you know you cannot take any more delay or pain. On the first day, rise early before sunrise. Wash your face and hands with clean water while declaring that you are cleansing yourself from every evil covenant. Step outside, barefoot if possible, touch the earth, and collect a handful of clean sand. Hold it in your palm and declare, "Every curse buried with my name, every altar raised against me with sand, today I return you to the sender. As I return this sand, let every evil assignment break." Speak boldly, mention your struggles, poverty, sickness, betrayal, delay, and command them to be broken. Then pour the sand at a tree, a riverbank, or a quiet place while facing east. Walk away without looking back. On the second day, repeat the process. This time declare that the sand will confuse monitoring spirits, blind their eyes, and dry up their altars. Say, "As I release this sand, I scatter their gatherings. I blind their watchers and burn their hands wherever they buried my name." Shake the sand in your hand as you speak, showing that you are shaking off bondage. Again, go to a different place and release the sand while declaring judgment. On the third day, the ritual reaches its highest point. Rise early, anoint your forehead and feet, and speak over the sand again. But this time call for vengeance. Declare, "As I return this sand, let every hidden enemy be exposed. Let their secrets be uncovered, and let every coffin they prepared for me become their own. I bury their wickedness under this earth and seal it with fire." This day brings results. People start to confess. Some will fall sick. Some will see dreams of snakes dying or evil altars burning. After releasing the last sand, go home silently and anoint your doorway. Do not gossip or waste words that day. Remain in worship and quietness. This is not witchcraft. It is reversal of wickedness using one of God's oldest creations. The earth was not created to bury you spiritually, but to carry your blessing. When the 3 days are complete, thank God for lifting your name from the dust, for exposing enemies, and for turning their weapons back against them. Do not chase after results. They will come. Just as the enemy struck you silently, their defeat will announce itself loudly. Some will call you crying, others will avoid you completely. Some will dream of you chasing them, because now they fear what you carry. This is how sand works, quiet but powerful. You have taken what was meant for your destruction and used it for your freedom. This will change your spiritual life forever. Once you do it with faith and knowledge, you cannot go back. You will walk with new boldness, knowing that every grain of sand under your feet carries your authority. You will know that God gave you power over creation, and that no enemy can hide in the dark while burying your name. Now you know how to send it all back to the sender. After completing the 3-day ritual, things begin to shift. You may dream of enemies confused, exposed, or begging for mercy. Some people see snakes cut in pieces, witches confessing, or birds falling dead outside their homes. These are signs that the sand has started its assignment. You may notice people who once looked harmless suddenly avoiding you or acting nervous. Their secrets chase them. Some fall sick, some lose protection, some cry for mercy. The spirits they sent against you return to torment them. Some will apologize, some will confess, and some will be destroyed. Do not be afraid. Once the ritual is done under God's authority, no evil hand can reverse it. That the earth itself responds to injustice. When someone dares to use creation to destroy a child of God, that same creation rises to defend the innocent. That is why after this ritual, testimonies begin to overflow. People report job offers suddenly coming through, long court cases being resolved, marriages finding peace again, and heavy burdens mysteriously lifting from their lives. Things you struggled for years to achieve suddenly begin to shift. Your money responds, your health recovers, your happiness returns. It is not magic, it is divine alignment. You called back what was stolen, you uncovered what was hidden, you reversed what was cursed, and the results cannot be denied. The fear of God will fall on those who thought they could secretly destroy your life. Now they realize you have discovered spiritual knowledge that reveals what is hidden and shuts down wickedness. From this moment, the spirit world recognizes your voice. The sand remembers you. The earth will now work for your good, and your enemies will never forget the day they tried to bury you, but ended up preparing their own downfall. Now that you have seen what sand can do in the spiritual realm, it is time to look within and ask yourself a serious question. How long have you endured things God never asked you to accept? How many years have you suffered quietly while enemies laughed over your buried destiny? How many times have you prayed and fasted without knowing that a simple element like sand could be the key to your freedom? This is your awakening. This is the time your eyes must open not only to see who your enemies are, but also to see who you are in the spirit. You are not weak. You are not powerless. You are not a victim. You are a spiritual warrior carrying divine authority over creation. And the fact that you now know how to use sand in spiritual warfare is proof that your training has been completed. You were awakened for a reason. Your delays, your losses, your shame, your repeated cycles of almost but never quite achieving, none of these were random. They were satanic setups designed to bury you alive. But God allowed it so that when you rise with fire, you rise with wisdom. You rise with scars that now carry revelation. And you rise with an authority no one will ever take from you again. You now understand that spiritual battles require spiritual weapons, and sometimes the strongest weapon is not the loudest cry, but the most accurate action. Speaking to sand may sound strange to the natural mind, but in the spirit it is a declaration of dominion. It is a bold statement that you will no longer allow the enemy to manipulate what God created for your blessing. This is why you must never go back to those days when you begged people to love you, when you kept explaining yourself to people who secretly planned your downfall, or when you accepted delays thinking it was just misfortune. Now you know better. You understand that some delays are hidden traps laid in plain sight. And now that you have broken those traps, it is time to walk differently. It is time to stop hiding your fire. Stop silencing your gifts. Stop apologizing for your calling. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you were created to rule. This sand ritual has awakened something ancient inside you, something that was hidden but never destroyed. Now that it is alive again, your enemies will never sleep peacefully. For when a child of God wakes up with knowledge, hell begins to shake. You have now become a spiritual threat. You have become a voice of judgment against evil altars. You have become the living proof of God's promise that those who dig a pit will fall into it themselves. Never forget this transformation. Guard it, protect it, grow it, share it. Teach others what you have learned, because this level of awakening is not only for you, it is for your bloodline. Your freedom is their future, your boldness is their shield, and your voice is now a trumpet in the Spirit. Walk in it, speak in it, declare with it, and never again return to spiritual blindness. Now rise and speak this with fire in your voice, not as someone hoping to be free, but as one who knows freedom is already theirs. Say this: I stand on the earth as one carrying divine authority. I speak to every grain of sand used to curse me, bury my name, delay my progress, or destroy my destiny. Hear the voice of the Lord through me and reject every evil word spoken against me. I command you, O sand, to become a weapon of judgment against every wicked altar raised in my name. Let those who buried my name in darkness be exposed by light. Let every witch, every sorcerer, every warlock who use sand to harm me fall into their own trap. I activate reversal in the Spirit. I return every curse back to the sender. Let their rituals backfire. Let their watching spirits go blind. Let their evil hands wither. Let their tongues that spoke lies be silenced. Let their gatherings scatter by fire. I call upon the sand to carry my cry, to carry my command, and to carry my judgment. Now pause and feel that authority rise in your spirit. This is not ordinary speaking. This is your inner warrior awakening. Say this next: I reclaim my name from every grave. I uncover my star. I take back my voice, my health, my wealth, and my destiny. As I hold this sand, it is a symbol of dominion. As I release this sand, I release judgment. No weapon formed against me shall succeed. No curse or divination shall rest upon my life. I declare that from today the earth will favor me. The land will yield blessings to me. My steps will lead to abundance, and no one will ever bury me again physically or spiritually before my time. Now say boldly: I cancel every evil assignment written in dust. I erase every covenant sealed with soil. I break every burial ritual done with my name, my hair, my photo, or my clothing. I call down fire on every evil that came through sand. I declare divine overturning of every demonic judgment. Let confusion strike the camp of my enemies. Let their plans collapse into dust. Let the same sand they used against me carry their destruction. And let every mouth that mocked me be silenced forever. This is your final strike, your seal of divine warfare. Speak it and believe it. From this day I walk in power. From this day I speak, and the earth responds. From this day my enemies will run at the sound of my name. And from this day I declare anyone who touches me or my family will pay with their own blood. It is written. It is done. Back to the sender in the name of the Most High God. Remain silent for a moment after declaring these words. Let your spirit fully receive what your mouth has released. This is not just practice. This is a weapon, and now that it has been activated, the battle has turned in your favor. Let the sand now speak. You have finished this journey of revelation, warfare, and restoration. Do not keep this wisdom to yourself. Too many are suffering silently, battling attacks they cannot explain, and losing fights they do not even know are spiritual. You have been given this truth not only for yourself, but also to help others be free. Someone right now has their destiny buried under sand, their name trapped under a curse, and they are crying out without knowing the reason. You can be the one to bring light. You can be the one to open the door to their freedom. So do not hesitate. Share this message with your family, your friends, your prayer partners, and even those who once mocked your faith. Let them see that the same sand they step on daily holds power when directed by divine instruction. Let them hear this truth. And when you share, warn them not to play with this knowledge. Tell them to prepare spiritually, to follow the steps seriously, and to trust God completely as they act. This is not superstition. It is not a passing trend. It is divine strategy that has delivered many across generations. If you are hearing this and feel fire in your heart, it is not an accident. God is stirring your spirit because you have been chosen as a gatekeeper for your family. You are the one to break cycles. You are the one who will not die poor, forgotten, or hidden. You are the one who reverses every arrow fired by jealous relatives, fake friends, bitter ex-lovers, demonic co-workers, and territorial witches. And you must be ready. So do not just listen again. Let the message sink into your spirit. Let the instructions settle into your heart. And once you do the ritual, testify. Share your story in the comments below so others may be encouraged. Tell us what dreams you had, what breakthroughs came, what revelations you received. We are building a community of warriors, not victims. We are raising voices that cancel evil covenants, and each testimony strengthens another warrior rising for battle. Do not forget to subscribe to Maya's Watchtower if you haven't already. Here we do not sugarcoat the truth. Here we expose darkness. Here we pray, we learn, we fight, and we win. If this message touched you, click the like button so the system knows this word matters. Write a comment to declare your freedom, your fire, and your fight. And most importantly, share it with urgency. Just as witches move in silence, we must move in revelation. Let this message travel across the earth. Let the oppressed hear and rise. Let the silenced ones find their voice. Let the buried destinies rise again. And let every altar built in the ground collapse by the voice of truth. This is Maya's Watchtower, where truth meets healing and wisdom brings restoration.